And now for something completely different, with an elevation of probably about 600 meters higher than Salagou. This is somewhere else. And yeah, it's nice. So being it's a lot higher up, it's, the nights were a lot cooler. Salagou was a ball breaker with the heat, morning, noon and night. But this, I slept here last night, just slept up in a car park out of the way, and it was just real nice. And even now, although you can't feel it, there's a cooling breeze. And the beauty about this place, as you can see, you know, the main thing I decided to fish here is the water level was right up, so I could get my bivvy right under the trees and out the shade for the best part of the day. The only time I'll really see it, and that's when the sun's setting over there. So yeah, so I'm absolutely shattered. Slept last night, nipped down to the old supermarket, just pick up some fresh bread and some fresh fruit, stuff like that, and probably got back down here for about 10 o'clock. So 2.5 hours later, here we are, camp set up pretty much, rod pod set up. All I've got to do is set up the rods, take long, find some marks, and then we'll be fishing way before sunset. As long as I've got baits out there by sort of late afternoon, early evening, then that's fine. So, strike three. Third time lucky. Let's see if we can hit on a few this time. Although I should figure myself lucky anyway for getting a carp out of Salagou. But it'd be nice to end with a few easier fish at the end of the trip. But it is the hottest day. I get one of the hottest days in France again. It's going to hit 42 degrees here today. And I thought it was a right plus getting here early, you know, leaving Salagou around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon, 2 o'clock, but driving in that heat in the van, that really took its toll. And I crashed at about sort of 6 o'clock last night. I realised I hadn't eaten since the day before on a Sunday, and the heat and hunger and everything else was took its toll. I'm also suffering from a nasty infection on my leg, which I won't show you. It's horrible, something I suffer from time to time, but puts me in considerable pain. So add that with everything else, yeah, you know, I've really pushed myself to get this far. So fingers crossed, my hard work might equal some half decent reward this time round. So on that note, I'm going to crack on, get the rest of my shit together, and I'll see you later on this afternoon, and I promise to show you a very nice sunset. So on that note, cheerio. Right, good afternoon. That was a fucking waste of my time, wasn't it? Public lake carp fishing, don't you just love it? I'll put that out again then. Big fish, Bambi Carp.
Is it like a minute?
Oh, no way. This is no good after you taste it in the back. Yeah, good, good. So, Tuesday the 23rd of July, and it's about 7 o'clock in the evening now. Rods are all out, baited up. Just left it this afternoon. It's just been balmy hot, and it's been a bit crazy. It's clouded up a bit, and we even had a few spots of rain. Couldn't believe it. So we've got two marks out here, one in about 15 feet of water and one there in about 23. There's an old stream bed that runs down there, and I know it's sort of like a bit of a silty area sort of place I'd be. And then out there I've got two markers about 25 yard apart, one starting from about 27 foot of water down to about 38 foot of water. So I've just connected a long line of bait in between those markers, and I've done the same with these two here really. But over on the two far markers I have put quite a bit of bait in, probably put in about 3 kilos of boilies and probably about 3 gallon of particle. So, you know, I do know that there's a lot of fish in here, and I do know that, yeah, when they do come in largish numbers. So, you know, I'll be pushing my luck a bit, but with the amount of coarse fish and that in here, catfish as well. I hope I don't catch a catfish, but there's a possibility. We'll see. Particles could be a bit of a no-no, but I don't think there's a massive amount of cats in here. But I thought that about the first venue, so, and how wrong I was there. So we'll see how it goes. So that's it for now. Rods are out. Just going to sit back and enjoy this wonderful sunset. Incidentally, just seen me go back out there again after the old boy just swam through my line. A little bit concerned he might have dragged it, so I thought better safe than sorry. And even he said, why don't I cast? And the trouble is, I'm set up in such a way where I'm using long abrasion resistant leaders, 80 pound mono, followed by 80 pound braid, followed by my 30 pound braid. And you try casting that without a frap up or the hook link tangling around the lead, you know, it's just not going to happen. You know, it'd be quite easy for me to stick on tapered shock leaders here, and I'd probably get away with it, and I could even cast those far ones that are only about 100 yard out. Trouble is, I'm using heavy leads as well. So you got a boat, use it. Simple as that. You know, you're going to get your bait presentation perfect every time. You can slowly touch the lead down and then lift it up again and straighten up your hook links. Why wouldn't you do it? So, you know, there we go. But at times it can be a bit of a disadvantage being spooled up the way I am, tackled up the way I am. But hey, I'm here for big public lake carp fishing, not small little lakes where you can't use a boat. In which case my setup will be completely different. So yeah, on that note, going to leave it now and probably crack open a beer and think about having some of the wheat, and it is going to be a lovely evening sat here behind the rods. Good afternoon, it's Wednesday the 24th of July, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and things look like they're going to be on the change. We've had thunder rolling in for the last couple of hours. It's clouding up and it's just started to rain. Just to recap on the last 24 hours, I think after I last spoke to you sometime yesterday after setting up, so got all the rods out, and at about 1 o'clock yesterday, this morning, had a run on one of the 28 foot depth rods. It turned out to be an upper double catfish. So I unhooked that where it was and just dropped the rig back out. The bait was okay, cleaned off all the shit and slime, put it back out, and then hadn't really got back into bed very long, about 2:30, something like that, and my margin rod ripped off here, and it absolutely, absolutely tore off. Clutch was a little bit light, and I went out in the boat for it because it felt quite a powerful fish, but a fast fish. So you know, I was sort of wondering what it was. So anyway, I went out in the boat, got it up the first time, and it sort of just rolled on the surface, and I could see it wasn't a very big fish. It was a small common, probably sort of maybe mid upper double. Turned back down, went for another little roll, little swim. Well, dived back down anyway, and just as it dived down, the hook pulled. So I wasn't too bothered about it, but it would have been nice to have had something to show you guys. So I'm using quite big baits, and I'm using big hooks, size 2s and 1s, and I could see that it was only just on the top of the lip, on the bottom lip. So you know, with these smaller fish, you do tend to get some sort of iffy hook holds, and do tend to get the odd hook pull here and there if it's a bit of a bigger fish. You always seem to nail them. I don't know, it's just one of those things. But when I say small fish, I mean sort of normally sort of fish sort of less than 10 pounds. So I'm trying to suck in these big 24mm baits that swelling up to 28mm plus big double baits, and it's inevitable that you're just going to snag fish like me. So anyway, bumbling on a little bit. So yeah, it's looking good, and weather forecast for the weekend is a massive drop in temperature. We've been, up until the last hour, we've been suffering from mid-30s all week, you know, well, 42 degrees here yesterday, 35 the day before that, and then all of a sudden it's just cooling off now, and it's starting to really rain. The first rain I've seen in a long time. And then over the weekends, coming on to end of Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday and Sunday, Saturday it's going to drop down to 21 degrees. That's a 15-degree drop in temperature with slightly better winds, and that's going to be like that for a couple of days, and then through the start of the next week it's going to slowly climb again. So I'm sticking it out. I'm going to stick it out. If anything's going to switch these fish on, this will, and I can only, you know, assume that, you know, this is the break that we've been waiting for in the last fortnight of fishing. This has been it, you know. So we're here. You know, if we don't catch multiple fish in the next 48, 72 hours, then I will, I don't know, take up golf. I don't know, because it should happen. So I'm going to prepare for it to happen. I think we've got great marks out there. Get all the rods out there again tonight. You know, if we can. But if not, I'll leave them out there. You know, they're fine. Yeah, it looks really good. I expect you can tell by my voice that I'm about as excited as I have been in this whole trip. This will make the difference. Too many times I've had what's been a real dead loss session turn into a red letter day, you know, when this sort of weather has come in. And for me now, it's up to me now to make the most of it, you know, to get runs, get the rods back out, knowing full well that, you know, baits can be picked up again within the hour. So yeah, you know, fingers crossed. We've got a lot of nice bait to use here, relatively still fresh. Going to get some more of these air dry boilers rehydrating, because they've gone like bullets in this weather. So you know, a 12-hour overnight soak, and then drain the water off, put the lid on, and let them draw in the moisture, and they'll be like fresh baits within 24 hours. So it's important to keep that cycle going. So fingers crossed it's some carp and not cats, because I've had enough of cats. Okay. So until next time, I'll catch you later. Wow, what difference a day makes, what difference a few hours make. For I thought it was going to be getting the heat of the sun as it drops down on the other side of the lake, and now we're in this dull, moody, wet, and a bit of wind as well. Absolute golden. Well, finally Thursday the 25th I think today, and I was a bit dejected in my bivvy this morning, didn't want to get out, just couldn't believe why it still hadn't happened. And when one of the margin rods roared off in about 21 foot of water, and I got this pristine little chestnut common here, just an outside of 21 pounds. Sand everywhere. There he is. Look at that. Beautiful, lovely little fish. I say. But my scales are not very small decimals, so it's about £20 and 12 ounces, something like that. Who cares? Finally. As you can see, it's going to be a cracking day again. It's going to get a bit stormy again later, and then by Saturday it's dropping 15 degrees down to about 20 degrees. If that don't get them biting like this little fella here, then I don't know what will. This one was caught on a double 24mm mussel hook bait, dusted in, well, dipped in greenlit mussel liquid and greenlit mussel powder. Same as I've probably shown you in other videos before. Done the trick again, the old favourite. What a lovely fish. That is beautiful. Proper little chunk of a fish, caught really well.
Il y en a qui les sortent et qui les remettent à l'eau. Vous les tuer parce
Pour
qu'ils
les
sont
tuer.
propres.
On m'a dit qu'il y avait des espadons, mais là, vous avez vu des espadons. Ah bon? Ouais. Parce que ça tire vachement, les gars.
Right, just a quick bit of video. Done the photographs. Hope this goes in. There we go. Out of nowhere. I don't know what time it is, about 7 o'clock in the evening. Sat there reading my book, and this one ripped off. Absolute beast. Look at that. Trip made. Yes. That is a beaut. I'll show you the other side. Whoop. Here you. Thank you. Whee! Shower. A quick one the other side.
Il y en a beaucoup sur l'autre côté du dans les arbres. Ça fait une île de l'autre côté, il y a des arbres secs. J'ai vu ça.
Absolute beaut.
Mon frère, j'ai un frère qui allait y pêcher, oui. Il montait en haut dans les rochers, on les voyait nager.
About this bad boy go. It's too hot to be messing about with them. There he goes. Oh, give it a brute of a fish. Looks like a big, solid male fish. Caught on double 20mm mussel, gooed up with the old spicy squid goo on that one, and that was put out this morning, new spot, after I caught the common, and then I replaced 2 rods, taking the tiger nut off and putting that double 20mm out there on the new spot. I was in about 24 feet of water. That seems to be the depth. That's the 2 takes I've had, both around 24 foot of water. And when you go out there, you're coming up the shelf. The shelf's pretty much like the bank is here, and you've got sort of little wave lines where the water's dropped down in the autumn, and it sort of literally goes down about 2 foot and then down again. And there's a key area just on about 24 to 28 foot. And there's lots of arcs on the screen and lots of fish symbols, just lots of activity down there. Doesn't really matter what it is, in my opinion. All to me says that's where fish want to be, period, and that's all you can go on. So yeah, and that was my meaning, you know, when I first put them out. That was where I saw the majority of the symbols, you know, and that's all you can really go on. I'm using a different echo sounder now, upgraded from my old Garmin 140 that I've had for the last 12 years, and I've now got a Garmin Chirp 5 or something like that. I don't even know what it is. I'm still getting used to using it myself, but it's an amazing piece of equipment. It's got live view on it, you know, old classic sonar, which I still like, you know, and it's a joy to use. It really is. You know, it's been quite a quick process the last fortnight, and I feel pretty much at one with it now. So the 2 rods that I have right over there, near where that boat is now, it's sort of going over a bar, and it was really a silly area to go, but I wanted to fish 2 sets of rods in 2 totally different places. But you know, if I had a take, you've got, you know, lines going over the bar, especially on the shallow one. The one in 40 foot of water, that wasn't an issue, but I don't think the fish are there. So yeah, so I bought those back and just bought those. They're going to be on a marker just out here, just on this side of this shelf. There's a little, you can see a little point out there, about 80 yards. So and again, it just comes up over it, 19 foot, you know, sort of 21, 24, 27, bit like that. So I've got a marker just on, sort of, so I can drop rods on the 24 foot mark just down the side of it like that. So I've one on about 23 and then another one on about 25, something like that. Nice little circle of bait, so I can fish 2 on that. See how it goes with that. You know, to talk through the fish, you know, the take obviously was ferocious. Again, it was on my old amorphous rods. Brilliant rods, you know. I'd rather play fish on those any day of the week. You know, they're not the best stopping rods for snags and stuff like that, not like the old Greys torsions, but for playing on the boat, beautiful. So it instantly just tore line off of me at an unstoppable rate, ran a marker and headed out towards that red marker out there, which is out there about 170 yards out there, 200 yards. So I jumped in a boat and followed it and finally caught it up about 40 yards short of this red marker. It took a lot of line, absolute real impressive run, and then eventually got on top of it, and I see it come up once. I thought, well, at least it's not a catfish. So that's a plus. And anyway, I got it up again and it flanked on its side, and I thought, well, you know, that's got a big frame to it. You know, I thought that's definitely a big 30, and you know, wasn't quite sure the size of it, you know, because you can't really judge the back. And then it went down and I fought it again for another sort of 5-10 minutes. By this time there's a couple of locals down here sunbathing and swimming, and they've got the binoculars on me, and I've got an old couple that I videoed earlier. They come and sit next to me, barely speak a word of English, and I don't speak barely a word of French, but we got by. So that made their afternoon. They were absolutely over the moon. I think they're locals, you know, and never seen anything come out here like that. So that was a real highlight for them. That was good. So yeah, got it in, like I say, well, the baits weren't on it, and the hook was inside the lip but just on a bit of skin. And you know, if I'd have played it any heavier, I don't think I'd have got that one. In comparison, exactly the same rig, about 10 inches of ridge monkey, last 3 inches stripped, little centre weight, size 2 101s these, and I've gone for the really big ones. The common this morning was buried in the bottom lip. This one, it was in the bottom lip, but it hadn't gone in, it had just turned and caught a little bit of skin. So I got a bit lucky on that one, but I'll take that. I think I deserved that. I can tell you, I don't think I've ever worked so hard in such harsh conditions in my life. So yeah, I think I can finally sit back and relax a bit now, and hopefully there'll be a few more to come. I'm fishing at feeding a little bit lighter, not masses of bait, maybe 30 to 40, probably 40 baits around each rod. Just a light little bit of particle, just get some activity there, but I haven't put loads down, just enough to get the bream down and the roach and all that scurrying around, create a bit of a hive of activity, but not leaving a great big dense carpet there, so when the carp come up they've got a banquet, you know, and it's going to take forever for them to pick up milk bait. So yeah, you know, I think in the past I've probably overdone it with particle. They got their place, and you know, when applied right, and I think if I was to hold my hands up, I think at times I've probably not applied the particle in the correct manner. So there we go, you never stop learning. So there we go. I think that's about it now. I'm going to sit and enjoy the rest of the evening. Best part of the day. Houseflies seems to have bred with the horseflies around here. I've never known houseflies bite so much in my bloody life, and there is also horseflies here as well, which is a bloody nightmare. And but no wasps, so that's something. So yeah, best part of the day. Sit back and enjoy it, and just reflect on what's been a really successful day. So on that note, I shall say good night, and till the next time you see me. Okay. Just one last quick gold. There we go. Look at that. Good foamy. So there we go. Out of the blue with a belter. Double 20mm muscle bottom bait. And it's Friday 26th, just gone midnight. So not a bad start for Friday really, is it? An absolute beauty. Like I say, £29 4 ounces. Didn't look that big in the water, but God, it's got some weight to it. Solid old thing, absolutely beautiful, clean mouth. Lovely. Show the other side. That's a beaut. That's a cracker. Didn't have to fight. Nice to fight it from the bank at night as well. Not too much disturbance in the swim. Lovely. Thank you. Mwah. Say goodbye to this beastie. And rest up for a minute. Been out of the water for a few minutes. Really strong. Look at that. That's a bruiser of a fish. Absolute bruiser. Totally. There you go. Into the depths. I can still see him. Alright, good morning. It's about 8 o'clock Friday morning, Friday the 26th I think it is. Second fish of the morning after that lovely mirror last night, and a little bit of an unusual looking common carp with some nice black spots on them, black scales, a bit weird. Caught on a snowman, 24mm muscle bottom bait with a 15mm yellow Northern Special on the far left hand rod. First time that one's gone, and there we go. Lovely, beautiful, yeah, lovely fish. So yeah, good little scrap. Nice way to get woken up this morning again. Similar time as that common yesterday, and this one, it's a longer, leaner fish. Doesn't look as big as that £20 12 ounce common I had yesterday, but this one goes 22.5, so it's got some weight to it, so no bullshit. So you can say goodbye to this one. Guys, au revoir monsieur, bon voyage. It's Friday the 26th, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Come on. Oh, move it! Sorry about that. photographs done. That was on an old double 24mm muscle bait. That's been that's the second fish I think it's caught now. About 72 hours old. Beautiful. Look at that. So clean. Right, good evening. Friday the 26th, about 10 past 9 in the evening. Nothing else to report. I had that and then had a little bit of had about an hour's nap and when I woke up about 7 o'clock, 7:15, bright sunshine, but then the cloud has slowly come over. Definite northerly winds again now, which is what's reported. Ready for this cold weather. Looks good. Oh, doing my mate. Amazing how this weather breeds an appetite. So we're going to have a curry tonight, Joe Frazee. So just brown the meat, slightly over brown there, but that'll be okay. So yeah, it's looking really good. Hopefully this dramatic change in temperature and wind doesn't put them back off. I can't see that it will. This is like mega carp fishing conditions, this is. I'm sure it's always been a bit of a quiet time in the evening. So, you know, the one we had yesterday, the 40, you know, 6:30 in the afternoon, yeah, a bit different, bright and sunny. I think this will see us get in more takes through the night into the morning. We've had 3 today in this period and we've still got a few hours left. So yeah, looking good. Real moody sky. This is what gets me excited. I think a bit of cloud would get me excited, but there we go. A few other things do. I'm not that old yet. So yeah, but yeah, just thought I'd just touch base as there's such a change. I'm going to finish cooking my dinner now, enjoy the dinner, and hopefully a bit of a fly-free evening as well. Flies are a nightmare. Yeah, so there we go. Right, good morning. Let's have a little catch up. Got one in the hanging over the side of the boat in the net at the minute. It's now 9:30. Been a bit of a funny old night. Weather turned real cloudy like it is now. It's spitting with rain, very light rain, from sort of late in the night, about 11 o'clock. And you know, that sort of change, maybe it was a bit too much of a change, and but it was a bit weird. You know, there was lots of activity on the bobbins, lots of bleeping and rod knocking, like there was fish moving in the area. You go out on the echo sounder and there's lots of strike marks and fish symbols on the screen. Must have just been brie. Eventually I had a very strange, I say strange, but my clutches aren't done massively uptight because there's no snags out there for about 200 yards as I know, because I've seen this place about sort of 50 foot down, you know, so I know exactly what I'm fishing on. And the rod just sort of bleeped a little bit. The rod, I was watching the rod and it just donked like that, and then the bobbin jumped up and down a little bit, and then it just, off it went, just real slowly as I walked up to it. The wheels just turning around like that, real slowly, and leant into this fish. Oh yeah, this is a good fish, I thought, you know, and then it went and it just carried on going. I was just still on the bait rod at the time and just touching it with my spool and my finger, and just hook pulled out. No reason for it. A sticky sharp still, Sailor 101 size 2, great hooks. Yeah, so that was a bit disappointing. Very rare drop fish on the take, you know, in fight as it were. That doesn't happen very often to me, so one of those things. So put that rod back out there with another handful of bait, you know, well, a bit of a scatter, and I thought, well, you know, there's probably more than 1-2 fish out there, so I sort of put a very light scattering along the line of the rods, because I've got a line of 4 rods on this margin rod, and then a sort of an extra concentrate of about 30 baits around my hook bait. And then about 1:30, I had a good take to one of my right hand 2 rods out off to the right of the baited area, and that turned out to be the second catfish of the trip here. Could have been the same fish, it's so similar size, 18-20 pound. Let that go. And yeah, then just couldn't settle after that. It just looked so good, you know. There was a lovely wind coming into me, lapping the shoreline, and the rods were knocking and bleeping, and I thought, you know, there's fish out there, you know, it's going to happen again. It's not worth me really trying to get my head down. I'm just going to sit up, and I did till about 5 in the morning. A little bit shattered still now. And yeah, eventually I went to sleep, and then to be awoken about 9 o'clock this morning by this one that I've got hanging over the side. Didn't really think much of it. It went round the marker, and then it went around up there a little bit. It was quite a strong fish, but I didn't think it was a big fish. But I'm not sure how big it is at the minute, but it's bigger, a lot bigger than I thought. No surprises, but you know. So yeah, so finally got one for Saturday, so that's good. You know, the weather as promised. This wind's a little bit iffy at the minute. I wonder where this sort of like northerly is meant to be, because this is sort of a bit of a swirly south-southwesterly at the minute. But maybe we'll get that. But heavy cloud cover, 100% cloud cover. It really does look good for another one at any time. So, you know, the risks are all out there perfectly. So yeah, fingers crossed. So, right, enough of my babbling on now. I'll get this one out, we'll weigh it, and just out of interest, it's not huge, and yeah, show you it. So, here you go, second one. 24mm muscle bottom bait, 15mm yellow northern special, size 2, Sailor 101, blowback ring style. This one's just on a quarter semi-stiff thing. That is a really nice fish, that. Bit different, bit of a, yeah. Set the old, see she'll go, count again. There we go. A few photographs while we're filming. There you go, brilliant, that's enough. So yeah, there we go. A little bit of a tear in this mouth, that one. It did get caught around a bit of a little small rock out there or something. But yeah, cracking little fish, that. Beautiful. Yeah, 27 3/4. I'll take that. Very nice indeed. Proper little lump. Wow. Very well indeed. Beautiful. Again. Lovely. Mwah. Thank you very much. 27 3/4. Back you go, mate. Might have a few more. It's looking a bit moody and dark. It's real nice. Yeah. Can't believe it. You know, I came here last time, I had over 30 fish in a long week. And I caught a few doubles in amongst that. And this time it looked like a few of them should have been doubles, but yeah, smallest is what, about 21 pound, just under 21 that first common I had. And everything's been bigger. I'm a bit luckier this time, that's for sure. Sweet, now probably get one. Yeah, great stuff. Happy days anyway, so enjoy another cup of tea. Say oh Snoop. Oi! What are you doing? Wow. Good evening. Saturday the 27th, about 10 past 8 in the evening. A little bit earlier than last few nights. And what a difference a day makes. I think I'm taking it back now, wishing this northerly wind to come. It's cold. They say it's dropped down to about 20 degrees. Well, it feels bloody cooler than that at the minute. Oh, clean that little spot of rain. It's a bit of rain, been drizzling with white rain on and off best part of the day. So this morning was alright, and that lovely deep bodied 27 pounder, whatever it was. Very quiet since then. Just chilled out a little bit latter part of the morning, waited till sort of lunchtime had finished, so about 1:30. So reeled in the rods, wanted just to grab a couple of things from the van, make sure the van was alright, and just nip into a local town and just grab a bit of bread, a few other little supplies. So grab a few other little supplies, and so just nipped over there with my boat and the engine, my brand new Mercury 5 horsepower outboard I've got over there. That's a joy to jump into that. Getting sand. The trouble here, it's lovely on. Right. There we go. There we go. Oh, just about to make it up. There we go. Whew. Biggest trip of the day nearly. Just chill out. It's a good day to be chilling in the bivvy. The flies have done one. They sort of evict me from my own bivvy for the best part of the day when it's warm. So it's nice to be able to chill on the old bed chair, read the book. Yeah. A few rigs, that sort of thing. And relative comfort. But look at this, fully wrapped up autumn attire after suffering from 30 plus degrees of heat up to and over 40 degrees to this. Wellies, hoodie, jogging bottoms, surreal. There we go. Good morning, it's about 11:20, Sunday the 28th. What a miserable night it was. It rained permanently from about 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon till, well, sometime early this morning, well over 12 hours. And had a catfish last night again, and it was a bit of a better size, so I thought, well, I had to net it to bring it in anyway. It was well hooked. So yeah, it's well hooked, so I thought I'll bring it in, I'll video it, you know, catching it with all this catfish. They're a bit of a bloody nuisance, and I'm not really that bothered either way about them, but it was a nice size. I thought, oh, well, it might go £40, so I bought it in, and I set the video up, and anyway, it didn't go £40, it went 37, and thought I'd video it, and then when I played this morning, it said the file was corrupt, so I didn't video it, so never mind. So yeah, so anyway, had a couple of little, I had another a run as well, not long after that, exactly the same as the night before, a very, very steady, slow run. You know, the trouble is with the Delcons, it always make you sound so sort of aggressive, and it's not. You know, Spore was just literally turning around like this, and I struck, like the night before, I struck into it and I felt something. I struck into this, and there was nothing. So I can only assume that's small fish, small carp. You know, it was on what was a double air dry 24mm bottom bait, but I've been using it now, same bait now for 48 hours, and when you look at them and they swell up, they're probably swelling up over 48 hours to well over 30mm, so you know they're proper big fish baits, so they will sort of like stop me getting smaller fish. Might be the reason why I haven't had a double thick carp yet, you know, which is a bit surprising for it, because I know there's a lot of mid upper doubles in here, and probably a lot of smaller fish as well. But for whatever reason, you know, the baits I'm using are obviously sorting them out. You know, even the snowman. I looked at the snowman. I videoed the snowman rig at the 27 3/4 on yesterday. And you know, you look at the 15mm Northern Special, and the Northern Specials don't really swell up at all. And it's, compared to the bottom bait, it's tiny. The bottom bait looks well over twice the size. So I'll have to measure these baits. They're probably a lot bigger than I think my hardened hook bait, especially after they've been in the water for 48 hours. Even use them after 72, or even 4 days at that point. There's only little white crayfish in here. There doesn't seem to be much else around here, so you know that's sort of hard enough. You know, I'm only thinking, you know, just out here 40-50 yards, so you know it's probably wasting hard hook baits. So you know, just keep using the same bait. Yeah, this stretch, yeah. So yeah, I think my hook baits are probably bigger than what I think. Even my little 20mm, you know, they're swelling up to probably close to 22, 24mm, you know, once they've been in the water for 48 hours. So it might be the reason why I'm not getting small fish. But yeah, there we go. So again, as I said yesterday, what a difference a day makes. You know, the rain's passed. I think it might have come through a bit early, because I thought today was meant to be like this. Still got the northeasterly winds though, or northerly winds as predicted. But yeah, it looked much nicer day today. You know that gnarly old weather that we've had the last 24 hours. If it was on a river, I'm sure they would have went crazy. But for some reason, it hasn't had the desired effect here. I was really expecting a number of runs through the day yesterday and through the night, and it just never happened. So you know, I was just you know, haven't overbaited or anything like that, just enough for a bite, you know, maybe an average about 30-40 baits per rod, you know, nice long line, you know, 30-40 my baits per rod, you know, so if you're putting a long line out there, probably still 200 baits, that's probably 2 kilos of bait, because they're big baits, so, you know, but still not a lot of bait, you know, so, yeah, so I'm a bit nipped, so, yeah, obviously that changed, that disrupted them, or there was just no fish in the area. I don't know, it's the thing with this lake, might not actually be doing anything wrong. Just like the bloody here with these bloody jet skis. So yeah, back to normal again now, nice sunny conditions, moderate cloud, you know, maybe we'll get something again this afternoon, you know, there's a chance, so fingers crossed. So on that note, I'm going to say over and out, and next time I see, hopefully it will be with another French carp. Good evening. It's Sunday the 28th still. Just gone 9 o'clock in the evening. Sun's just gone down over the trees, the other side there. Going to be a nice sunset somewhere. Been a nice day today. very, very comfortable, if not a little bit chilly. But the wind's been lapping in here all day long, a lot stronger than what it has now. You can see a lot of foam in the side. I've been getting bleeps all day long on the rods, and I've been sort of a bit frustrated. It's been well over 36 hours since I had that 27 pounder yesterday morning, about 9 in the morning, and just a bit frustrated why we haven't had anything else. It just can't quite work it out. I know the first sort of 36 hours was slow with only the one catfish, and then, you know, I've had 6 fish, and then last fish obviously 36 hours ago. This time last night obviously it was really drizzly and horrible, and you know, I thought it was going to catch in that. I really did think it was going to catch in that, and I'm a little bit miffed that the only thing we caught obviously was a 37 pound catfish last night, and another funny run. So I've been getting bleeps all day. I've been looking at this bay, and I'll show you now. And this is the reason why I'm fishing here, because I fished this lake before and I've seen it when it's about 50 feet down. And you can see over there a bit of a discoloration. That's all muddy and boggy, and there's a little trickle of water running in there at the minute still, even though it's so hot. And it runs that, spills out obviously into this bay, and the stream track runs all the way down there, you know, even in the autumn. You know, it's a little track, and it's very silty and sandy, but just a little bit more of a silt deposit around here. So that's sort of, you know, we have to react on things very quickly, and you know, as soon as you get a piece of the puzzle, you have to react on it. You don't live on here or anything like that, you know. So obviously on your second morning, you know, and you get a carp, obviously, as you remember, just over 20 pound in about 23 foot of water. That's it, you know. You think yes, and then later on in the afternoon you get a big one, and in the same depth of water, and then so on. And then when you move your shallow rod from sort of 15 feet into 23 foot of water, you get buggered if you get a take on that one as well. So to me, you know, that's putting the pieces of the puzzle together. You know, it's just about depth on here. And I've been getting these bleeps, and I'm thinking, wow, you know, these fish come in right in this bay, in this silty bay. Am I missing a trick? You know, have I jumped too quick moving all my rods to 23 feet of water? Even though I've had takes on all 4 of these rods. The other 2 snidey rods that I've been searching in sort of 25, 26 feet of water, out there on a different line, well, probably 20, yeah, still 23, 25 foot of water, but out on a different line, out to the right. All they've produced is 3 catfish. Am I gone too far out? So I don't know. So what I've done this afternoon, I was looking at that beautiful ripple coming in here, and it was colouring it up, and the colour was going further and further out into 3-4 metres of water. So the 2 snidey rods I've now brought into 12 and 14 foot of water just in this bay here, and then the 2 outside rods, the 2 middle rods are still in 23, 24 foot of water. The outer right hand rod is I think I might have got a bream. Yeah, just see the tip dancing about. Yeah, oh, I think I have a bream on. Yeah, that's the trouble. You put a little, just put in a little sprig of particle, and you get a bloody bream on it straight away. So anyway, yeah. So the outer right hand rod I've brought back into 20 foot of water, and when you go out there, you've got these steps, and these steps sort of drop down 1 foot, 2 foot at a time, all the way down like that. And there just seems to be this mark, and where there's a lot of activity, you know, and it seems to be from sort of like around 23 foot back up the shelf towards you. And I noticed in the bay the activity was you know, a lot higher up, you know, in sort of sort of 13, 14 foot of water. So, and then I've done the same with the outside rod, brought that back in again to 19 foot. Now am I splitting hairs? I don't know. You guys tell me. You know, in the autumn, the difference between success and failure was the difference between 2 meters of water, between fishing 57 to 60 feet of water was golden, and it guaranteed takes really quickly. If you fished 66 feet of water, you wouldn't get a take, and likewise if you fished about 52 feet of water, you wouldn't get a take. It had to be just on that 60-foot mark, and I'm just wondering if the same here. You know, is it that critical? You know, why won't the fish come back up to 5 meters of water instead of 7-8 meters of water? In this time, you wouldn't think it'd make that much difference. Salagou, you know, the 2 takes I had there, they were both in 3 to 4 meters, well no, 4 meters of water, 4 to 4.5 meters of water. All you could get on 8 meters of water with catfish. So very frustrating. Maybe you guys, if I put this video on YouTube, maybe you guys can give me some inspiration. But you know, fishing all these rods, trying to work out, you know, getting averaging a fish a day, which is all right, but you know, should it be more? And I suppose that's the competitive side in me. Always, you know, I'm here to enjoy these beautiful places, but I'm also here to catch fish as well. And I'm not a swim mover. I like to work a swim out, sit on it, and build an area, and build a picture, build timings, build depths, and build baiting presentations over a longer period of time. I don't do moving about. So, and quite possibly a lot of the times to my disadvantage. But yeah, there we go. So that's what we've done anyway. A little bit of a move about. Pull them back into shallow water, especially with this warmer weather coming back in. It's going to be even nicer again tomorrow, creeping back up to over 30. So yeah. So there you go. Good. It's the sheer hell of it, just to come here and piss me off. Oh. Go. Yeah. There we go. Probably edit that out. There we go. So yeah, on that note, I'm going to probably say cheerio, and hopefully report back when we actually catch fish, and hope it records this time. At least it didn't record on a catfish anyway, so that's something. Alright, good morning. It's Monday the 29th today, I think it is, and got a full 48 hours, pretty much to the hour, without a carp until now. So we've got a little one here. Who's new? And I don't think it's 20 pounds. I will just put a number on it and see what she weighs. Yeah, 16.5 pounds. So the first double of the trip. Lovely. There we go. Look at that snoop. Hey, what's that then? Yeah, it's the first time we've really shown interest, isn't it? Yeah. Pretty little thing. Proper long, lean, wildy type. Yeah, that was just caught on a double 20mm muscle hook bait. Yeah, just didn't quite know what to make of that. It's about 9:15 this morning, so that's 3 commons we've had between about 8:30 in the morning. So yeah, fingers crossed for a big one in the day today. Now it's warming back up again. So back to a lovely day today. Sun's just about to creep over the trees behind me and bathe my little oasis in sunlight. We've got to let some come out so the river don't dry. Look at that. More rain come in from the wash ski borders. sun's coming out now. Wow. Here we go, bit of a surprise in the middle of the day. It's a bit of a big one. It's a new PB. It's an absolute monster, I can't believe it. Just out of the blue, blazing sunshine. And it just roared off. And just get the camera straight, because I want to get all this just right. This is an absolute beast. New PB. Absolutely over the moon. I've never even seen one this big before. It's like, you know, in the flesh, it's wow, really impressive. So here it is. Wow, an absolute beast of a fish. Oh, get out. There it is. Oh, it's a bit lively. And just literally had it in the net. It's going to be a struggle, but here it is. Right, come on, don't mess about, come on baby, look at that, what an absolute beast. 6 3/4 pound off, or ide, I think they're called ide, this an ide. Same family as the orf. Look at that. £6 12 ounces. Absolutely pristine. Took a double 20mm fish meal. I've been getting these big vicious knocks on the rod for the last few days, and now I know what it is. These buggers. They're beautiful. Right. My arse in the picture. The species is on. This is a bit of a rare one for me. I can't remember the last time I caught one of these on a French lake. Long time since I caught one on a boilie anyway. So that's what time I fished the river. Get it out. There you go. Beautiful carp. 3.5 pound maybe, 3 pound. Beautiful fish. Lovely. Same bait as the Ide come on earlier on. And there goes another 10 ounce lead. So I need to go back to the van to get some more leads. So I'm just using a few 10 ounces I've got left. Beautiful. Okay, pop my little bugger back. Off we go. More of my boilers. Yeah. Double 20 mils that haven't been out there very long. They're proving no match. But it's a good thing that I know what's going on in my swim. You know, so especially these baits once they, baits once they get soft after about 24 hours, you know, they're fair game for anything. So you've got to keep the flow going. And that's without catfish as well. And, you know, don't know how many carp visited the swim this morning. You know, 6 rods out there, all in similar depths of water. To only take the pad, you know, just doesn't add up. You know, was I that lucky that common carp come along and, you know, picked out that double bait straight away like that? I don't know. About 10 o'clock in the evening, and it's been a quiet afternoon after the the Orf and Chub episode. Rods twitching and bouncing all over the place. Whitefish have obviously moved in droves, and I should imagine clean me out. My boilies, once I've rehydrated them and then drain the water out, and then you leave them to draw in the moisture so you get like a fresh boilie again. They've got quite high soluble content in them, sort of about 27% solubility, with soluble ingredients in them, like pre-digested fish meal and milk proteins like acid casein and calcium and rennet casein and lactobuin and stuff like that. So after 48 hours, anything can attack them and eat them, and they're gone, which is a good thing in my eyes. And the way you monitor that is, fish a smaller bait on one of the rods, and obviously with all the rods knocking away, not so much the double 24 mils that swell up to sort of like nearly double 30s, they've been left alone. But the snowmen rigs always get a bit of attention from the food, the smaller fish, the Orf and the Chub and the Bream and the Roach. Yeah, so yeah, nothing else to report really. Was really, with the weather the way it is, perhaps I was hoping for a bite around 4 to 7 o'clock this afternoon, but when we've had those bites, we have had quite a nice wind coming in here, normally from northeasterly direction. So again, wind at this time of year does play a key factor, probably more so than on this lake than rain it seems. But yes, really nice being sat here now. It's a proper beautiful French summer's evening, and watching the sunset. Well, it's well and truly gone now, and leaving this lovely silhouette of this the far bank of this lake, and it is so peaceful now. The water skiers go in at about sort of 5:30, so it's sort of just left to me, and again there's nobody else on here as far as I know. Yeah, it is a lovely place to be, that's for a fact. Yeah, good evening. I think it's about midnight, I think now, and this one's just roared off on one of the snidey pair of rods out to my right in about 19 to 20 foot of water, just so slightly shallower. Come on the 24 mil Snowman yellow pop up. Great take. Decided to go out in a boat to land it. Thought I heard a couple of fish jump, certainly one jump earlier on out to my left, so it looked really good for it. Little bit of wind, just a little bit of wind coming in. How about that? So there we go, lovely fish. So here he is, 24 and a half. Hopefully that comes out all right. Nice scaly mirror. Lovely. Nice scrap. I thought it was a catfish first of all. Actually had me going. I actually for once thought it was a catfish and it's a carp. So let's the other side. There we go. Look at that. Lovely. Beautiful. Absolutely pristine again. Really clear mouth. Just have the space in a little bit more, I suppose, and I'll be able to see the preview. But that's good enough. Nice and quick. No messing about. Brilliant. Sleep. Yeah. Sit. Sit. Right, good evening. It's Tuesday the 30th of July, about 9:20 in the evening. And it's been one of them days today. I just don't know where the day's gone. It it was a nice start to the morning. Well, I say nice start, it was a nice morning, similar to what it is now, light cloud, but obviously the sun behind us. And I woke up, I think, at about, I don't know, 9:30, really late. You know, I'm quite surprised that I never had the morning, the 8 to 9 take, as it were, which has been quite regular over the last 7 nights. So yeah, and then watched as the day unfolded. It got to sort of midday and it turned really grey and drizzly, and it stayed most of it, well, from sort of late morning all the way through to sort of like late afternoon, before the cloud finally dispersed to what we're left with now, really. Looking a little bit moody up in the distance, clouds bubbling up. But it's looked like a really good day for it, you know, that after the cloud and the drizzle left, you know, it got to a point where the far bank looked very grey, you know, there's no colour to it, it's difficult to really see it. You know, and it cleared up and I thought, yeah, you know, and it got like this and the sun come out and I thought, yeah, good for an afternoon bite now. You know, I've had a couple of fish in the afternoon, some nice fish in the afternoon, and it hasn't happened. And do you know what, truthfully, I barely left the bivvy all day long. Spent a bit of time on the phone to friends, family and friends, and also organising a bit of work for when I get back. Yeah, I don't know where the day's gone. All of a sudden last night, sort of late early evening, early morning, we had that nice, I can't even now remember how big it was. Oh yeah, 24-pounder, and that was it. But that's the joys of fishing these big venues. This is a really big venue, and we've gone 2 periods now, 48 hours or thereabouts, where you know, you haven't had anything unless you've had catfish or eyed or chub in between. Had another chub as well this afternoon, and had another rod knocker as well. You know, but that was just obviously, you know, nuisance fish coming into the swim and clearing up. Sort of a good sign. I probably wasn't going to catch anything. So yeah, here we are. This is going to be my last evening on this lovely lake. Second time I've visited it, and it's been good to me again. You know, I can walk away from here feeling like I can go back home to from France, thinking, yeah, I've had a couple of nice fish. So that's brilliant. It's taken a long time to do it, but then again, it has been some of the toughest conditions that I've ever fished, and you know, in a couple of tough conditions in meant more ways than one, and a bit of a wake-up call. But we rised above it and we persevered, and I didn't give up and I didn't quit on any of the venues I fished. It would have been so easy to walk away and come to somewhere like this a lot sooner, but I didn't. I stuck to my guns, and I'm glad I did. No regrets whatsoever, no what ifs, buts or maybes, and that's what it's about. So it's not over yet, mind, you know, we've got tonight obviously, so hopefully I'll see you again before tomorrow morning, or by tomorrow morning, with one more. That'd be great. If not, it doesn't matter. And then we've still got 2 days left before I've got to be back on the ferry, on the tunnel even. So thinking about heading up to the River Yon or the Seine and just perhaps dropping in there for a couple of nights. I haven't got to be back on the ferry till 10:30 at night, so you know, because I changed it, I had to go for the cheap option, otherwise it was going to cost me about another 120 quid. So yeah, as it is at 10:30 at night, it didn't really hurt me, and that way I'm going to probably guarantee to miss all the traffic. So yeah, looking at the Yon or the Seine, that'll be good, just to drop in there for 2 nights. Just fish out the back of the van somewhere, pretty much, bed chair on the side of the river. You know, I've still got about 5 kilo of rehydrated boilie I need to use up, a little bit of particle. So there's still a chance of something else yet. So, and this adventure isn't over just yet. So, fingers crossed, there'll be a little bit more footage to show you guys. Anyway, on that note, so I'm getting through memory cards like there's no tomorrow, I'm going to say good night, and hopefully see you guys soon. Right, Wednesday morning, about 11 o'clock. And we're packed up. Time to say goodbye to our little oasis. That's where I was. There you go. Both loaded and not quite sitting as low in the water as they were on the way here, or especially Salagou. And even the dogs loaded and sat there quite comfortable. So yes, go and get Mr. Snoopy wormed, and then head on our way north to see if we can't make somewhere on the River Yon or the Seine for 2 nights, and that'll put us right back on a Friday with a nice relaxed journey back to Belgium, just to pick up a few bits and pieces with a few friends I owe favours to, and then back to the tunnel Friday evening. So on that note, we'll see you a bit later on, maybe in the afternoon, evening, hopefully, if we find somewhere nice to fish for the night. Over and out. Right, good afternoon, just a quickie because the old battery's going to go flat again. So it's now Thursday the 1st of August. Didn't check in yesterday. Made it all the way up to the River Yon yesterday and just sort of like almost just sort of picked a point on a map and fished it. You know, it's pretty accessible all over. You just got to drive along it and you can find a swim and fish. So fished there the night, got the rods out by about 10 o'clock at night, put a nice scout and a bait out, reasonably happy with where I put them, 2 on the inside track, 2 on the far side track, pretty standard tactics. But nothing happened, stayed out till about 1:30, never had a fish move, and you know, probably a little bit later than that, and then woke up again quite early this morning and nothing, totally dead. So stayed there till about midday, packed up, went to get some fuel, a little bit of fresh milk, etc. And now we're on the old Seine, the River Seine. Absolutely stuffed with my boilies. A pretty catfish, very pretty, I must say. But only enough for double, if that, but very pretty. A River Seine catfish, probably about £15, full of my boilies, absolutely gorging themselves on them. I've literally been out there 2 hours. Off you go. So here we go. It's now Thursday the 1st of August even. God, I hope it's not October, that's my second trip. And I didn't report in yesterday. It was about 8:30, quarter to not, probably 9 o'clock by the time I found a swim on the River Yon. Just found an area, drove along the track till I found a suitable swim and camped there for the night. Stayed up till about sort of 2 in the morning, you know, put a nice little spread of bait out there, boiling particle, and you know, it was dead. The rods didn't bounce or knock all night long. So yeah, with that, packed up at about midday, went and filled up with fuel and got a couple of little bits of supplies just to keep me going for the last night, because I'm pretty much out now. And thought I'd go and have a little look on the old backwater of the River Seine, and found you know, sort of like you've got these sort of cuts, new man-made cuts that straighten up the River Seine, which all the barges go on, and then you've got these loops everywhere off a weir pool. So I'm about sort of only about sort of 600 metres away, 700 metres away from a weir pool, and you know, it's pushing through a little bit, but I thought, well, you know, we've tried a stagnant part of the Yon with no movement in it hardly at all. Let's go and try somewhere just below a weir pool. You know, the water level's low, it's not masses of flow, sort of place maybe it's going to produce a few fish. Anything will do, as long as it's not a catfish. So yeah, so where we are, can't exactly remember exactly where we are on the Seine. You know, it's no big secret. You know, just you know, no magic. It's no magical part of the Seine, I don't think. So I just thought I'd just try a look here for the day. So got to say, 1st of August. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening now, and the old rod just happened to be sat having a wee, looking at the rod tips like you do, and all of a sudden the old rod wrapped right over, real steady, and hooked into it. You have no idea to sort of know exactly what it is first of all, and I thought, yeah, this is a carp, it's pulling like a carp. So anyway, it sort of proceeded to go downstream, in the middle of the river, and it's only shallow, it's only about 12 foot deep, and I thought, well, let's not tempt fate, so I jumped out in the boat, got above it, and then all of a sudden you see the fizzing coming up in the bubbles, and it's a catfish, and then I felt a kick on its tail, and that was that. So there we go, a little bit disappointing really, and the trouble is, I'm sort of down a little bit on my sort of rehydrated boilies, not got much left now, and that bugger's come along and probably got them in half a kilo in him. So yeah, so we'll put it back out. That was on I thought I'd go big, especially I didn't really want to be playing around with chub and barbel and bream all night, so I went for a single 32 miller. I think it was a 32, so it might have been a 36 actually, think about it, I ain't got a 32 mil table, 36. So yeah, he screwed that up. I have to put a new hook on. I've lost the tube in. So yeah, one of those bad boys. I thought that'll stop the little ones, but of course it won't stop the catfish, will it? Alright, good morning. It's about 10 o'clock, Friday the 2nd of August. And after a little catfish flurry again last night, which one I showed you, about sort of 15 pound, I had another one of about 10. Replace the rods, and that was it. And then on dark, just on dusk dark, I saw a couple of small, I thought they were small carp jump. I thought, well, here we go, we might actually get a carp from the River Seine yet. But it wasn't a bee, and then sort of through the night I had a bit of problem with weed and sort of rubbish. Almost looks like someone's dumped their garden waste in here, which I've had that happen before, and it got sort of snagged in the lines, and I had to go back out there and reset a couple of lines, go out there and clear the lines off and replace them. And yeah, it turned into a bit of a dark disaster and a bit of a sleepless night really, bit of a nightmare. Give up after a while, so tired, sort of give up about 3 or 4 in the morning. Just left them out there. A couple of the rods are snagged. I'm going to have to go back out in the boat to extract them. So yeah, bit of a disappointing end really. So yeah, that's it. That's it for another road trip. A lot of lesson learned from this trip. I would never have gone this time of year purely because of the heat. I don't particularly suffer well with the heat, and this time obviously with those record highs of over 40 degrees on many occasions, that made fishing really difficult. And then obviously the obvious other thing, it's been a bit of a cat fest, isn't it? So I've had catfish apart from the River Yon everywhere, and they're a nightmare, and they are at their most active, and you put any type of bed of bait out there and the catfish seem to locate on it rather quickly. So yeah, another reason why not to come in the end of July really, or unless you do, you select your venues accordingly. But it was the end of the day, it was a business trip, it was a so to come down here and actually get paid to come carp fishing, I'm not complaining. We had some nice fish, had the first Salagou common. So first time I visited Salagou and caught from it, that's sort of a big tick off the list almost, although I will be back. And those lovely fish from the middle of France, that certainly made the trip. So it's been a massive adventure. Way before I even started recording for the carp fishing, travelling all the way down through the non-toll routes, all the way down through the Pyrenees and into Spain. There's a couple of waters there just to camp the night before going all the way down to south of Alicante to make my delivery, and then spend some time with a friend before coming back up into the Pyrenees again to start fishing. I think the need
comes in at about 2,600 miles at the minute. So by the time I make it back home near Oxford, I'm going to have covered over 3,000 miles. So it's been a trip and a half. It's been good fun. Would have been, you know, so yeah. Would have been better with Claire with me, but I don't think, you know, she's come at a great time. She would have come at a great time anyway. So there we go, some consolation for us there. So on that note, I'm going to just finish my cup of tea and then retrieve my rods, just pat down what little gear I've got, and have a little quick tour around in the area. There's a couple of places that I've been told of, obviously after I've set up, which might be worth a look for future reference on a quick pit stop the next time. So on that note, say cheerio to you guys until hopefully the autumn.